In honor of Marvel's What If, I have a what if for you. What if Madara returned in Boruto, fully revived as the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki? It'd be insane, right? Good thing it would never happen, because this kind of what if would be a worst-case scenario for the world of Boruto. We all know that his exit from Shippuden was a bit lazy, forcing his leave before he finished what he started. Also, if we're being honest here, no one actually beat him, Naruto and Sasuke included. So if he did return, would anyone actually stand a chance in the next generation of ninja? Let's find out. Boruto Uzumaki seems like he's a bit of a prodigy in comparison to his old man. He was able to learn and use the Rasengan in mere days. Also, he accomplished something that even Kakashi and the 4th Hokage struggled to do. He unintentionally added lightning release to the jutsu, creating his own version called the Vanishing Rasengan. He defeated Momoshiki, Boro, and with his Kama continued to grow in strength. However, despite all those feats, Madara would put Boruto in the ground. Yes, with Kama, Boruto can absorb any of Madara's ninjutsu, but in taijutsu alone, Boruto would be outclassed. Plus, Madara can't be harmed by normal ninjutsu. Only senjutsu works, making that Rasengan pretty useless. Also, Boruto would be at a disadvantage trying to ensure Momoshiki doesn't take over, giving Madara a pretty easy W and giving him more time to search for Hashirama. Oh, I'm so sorry to say this, but Kawaki is going to the place he apparently sent the 7th Hokage. Although powerful in his own right, being quote-unquote blessed with the power of Isshiki Otsutsuki, he's just way too inexperienced to deal with Madara in any form. Kawaki specializes in close-ranged hand-to-hand combat, utilizing his body modifications to transform his right arm into weapons. However, when you can take on the entirety of the 4th Division alone, I don't think body modifications are going to save him. Plus, as a shinobi, Kawaki is just getting started. He just learned how to use Shadow Clone Jutsu, for crying out loud. Maybe, with more time, training, and his Kama back, Kawaki could stand a better chance, but with what we know right now, sorry kid, you probably should have just stayed in the container you came in. Oh, I hate this fight. Hate this fight. One thing to know about Madara is that he loves a good fight. He craves it and loves to test his own abilities. Against Sarada Uchiha, Madara is going to take his sweet time. As an Uchiha, and even more so as Sasuke's daughter, Madara is going to want to see what the next generation of Uchiha can do. Do they live up to his expectations and the history of the clan? In Sarada's case, she's doing a pretty great job. She's unlocked the 3 Tomoe Sharingan and is able to use Chidori. Now, using that exact jutsu, she nearly took Boro down by taking out his core. In the case of Madara, she might get some good shots in, but it's only as long as Madara allows it. In the end, we all know what's gonna happen. Mitsuki has a bit of an interesting case when it comes to battling Madara Uchiha. As the son of Orochimaru, Mitsuki can heal from any injury, regenerate lost limbs, can stretch and contort his arms similar to his father, and more. He's extremely skilled in taijutsu, which we know Madara loves, and he's said to possibly be stronger than Orochimaru, and that came from the Snake Man himself. Plus, he can use Sage Mode. Out of the new Team 7, Mitsuki likely has the best case against the Ghost of the Uchiha, and with more time and training, I think he could give him a run for his money. However, much like the other genin on this list, Mitsuki needs more experience and more training in senjutsu. Currently, the technique destroys his cells and damages his organs beyond repair. So, Madara, maybe come back in a few years? After watching Konohamaru defeat Pain's Naraka path, we all thought the 3rd generation of Sarutobi would become one of the greats, even one of the future Hokages. In Boruto, however, he's more looking like the Gohan of the series. It's not really his fault, though. Let me say first that Konohamaru is strong in his own right. He can use the Rasengan, summon toads, and has a connection with the Monkey King Enma. His jutsu ranges from both Asuma and Hiruzen's playbooks, and he's continuing to grow at a very rapid rate. The problem is, this isn't his show. Unlike Kakashi, Konohamaru hasn't gotten the love he deserves, meaning he still has some time to go before being able to match a Kage in battle. Unfortunately, in a battle with Madara, Kage-level strength is needed to even have a sliver of a chance. Overall, Tsunade is a beast of a shinobi who should not be taken lightly. Hailed as one of the legendary Sannin, Tsunade's accomplishments range wide, many regarding her as the reason why the Leaf was able to win the Second Shinobi World War. She is hailed as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, medical ninja of all time. Also, her strength seems limitless due to the Strength of 100 seal, which, when released, multiplies her chakra 100 times over. Against Madara, she broke through his Susanoo's ribcage and fought him for over a day and a half. If anyone can stand up to the second sage of 6 paths, it'd be her. That's if Madara was still in his Edo state. Unfortunately, none of these feats compare to what Madara can do in his Ten Tails form, as when fully resurrected, he put all 5 kage in their place. A common misconception in Boruto is that Kakashi Hatake is no longer the man he used to be. That he pales in comparison to his former self now that he lost the title of Kakashi of the Sharingan. Well, if that's not further from the truth. Kakashi is on the same level, if not stronger than he was in the war arc. According to Kakashi Hiden, he's able to move at such a speed that his opponents are unsure if he even lost the Sharingan. His new jutsu, Purple Lightning, far surpasses Lightning Blade as it doesn't carry the same tunnel vision effect his previous jutsu had. Did we mention that he also has access to those 1,000 jutsu he's copied over the years? Now, don't get me wrong, Kakashi won't be able to defeat Madara, especially if he uses Limbo, but hey, he'll fight to his final breath. Alright, let me preface this and say, 1, I want no hate in the comments, and 2, can we please show Sakura some love? At the time of Boruto, Sakura has far surpassed Tsunade, taking everything she's done and perfected it. Also, we all now know Sakura can hold her own. I mean, did you see her fight with Shin Uchiha? I wouldn't want to be behind that rock. Sakura, despite fan opinion, is a beast who has been compared to a kid with a demon inside of him and an Uchiha prodigy for years. Now, of course, she's not going to be able to do much against Madara, who can't be touched by none other than the master of taijutsu. However, trust me when I say this, she would get some good blows in, enough to get Madara to acknowledge her as he did her master. Overall, Gaara is considered to be Tsunagakure's strongest Kazekage, and we need to note that this strength is his own, unlike in Part 1 where he had Shukaku. His defense is famed to be absolute, as his sand will automatically protect him from any attack, and if something does get through, what appears to be Gaara's skin is actually armor made of sand. On top of that, Gaara has a plethora of jutsu at his disposal, most with the concept of trapping opponents in waves of sand, capturing them, and crushing them. Now, in the anime, Gaara was able to defeat Urashiki with the help of Chojuro, but he's definitely on the lower end of Otsutsuki. To ask if he'd be able to handle Madara, we have to look at his fight with Momoshiki, which unfortunately didn't end well for him. Better luck next time. Now, before I say anything, let me just say that Darui is an amazing shinobi, and an even better kage. His specialty is Black Lightning, allowing him to use techniques such as Lightning Release Black Panther that electrifies anyone who comes in contact with it. He also has Storm Release Laser Circus up his sleeve, which would cut anyone down. We have to note too that before Momoshiki ate Kinshiki as a snack, Darui was able to hold his own. However, after, he stood no chance. He was immediately bodied by one of Momoshiki's kicks. Honestly, it was like Madara versus the 5 Kage all over again. Up against 10 Tails Madara, Darui with no Senjutsu or Rinnegan stands 0 chance to counter Madara's godlike abilities like Limbo, or even damage him. Madara wins this fight without breaking a sweat. When you hear the name Chojuro, it should come with respect, as the 6th Mizukage is no slouch. In Boruto, his feats include defeating the new 7 Swordsmen of the Mist, subduing Urashiki with Gaara's assistance, and immobilizing Kinshiki. Now, against Momoshiki, I think we can all agree the outcome wasn't favorable, but let's ask the question anyway. Can he stand up to Madara? When Madara went up against the 5 Kage originally, we have to note he wasn't taking things seriously. It was like he was playing with his food, because once he decided he was done, he dropped all 5 of them immediately and moved on. In Chojuro's case, I don't think Madara needs his Ten Tails abilities to take him down. In all honesty, if Madara decides to use Susanoo, it'd be all she wrote. If you've watched Boruto, either the show, film, or read the manga, then you're likely to remember the moment Kurotsuchi put Kinshiki on blast with just a punch. It was strong enough to send him crashing through the God Tree. Also, we gotta say, when you go back and watch the fight, besides Sasuke, she's doing most of the work sealing Kinshiki with her lava-style ash stone stealing jutsu. So, with that, I think we can say that if her fight with Madara was with a team, she may have a better shot. Solo, however, she doesn't stand a chance. Let's say Madara went all out and used all of his abilities. Without Senjutsu, she wouldn't be able to damage him, and without the Rinnegan, she wouldn't be able to see his Limbo clones. Don't get me wrong, Kurotsuchi is strong. Madara is just on another level. If Madara came back, we all know for sure Sasuke would be on his tail before Naruto could even get away from his paperwork. We haven't talked about it yet because it would end every fight, but Sasuke can counter the infinite Tsukuyomi, meaning these two can go all out. Also, we'll give Sasuke the Rinnegan to give him a fair chance. He as a whole has only grown since his time in Shippuden. His use of Ameno Tejikara has only improved, giving birth to new on-the-fly strategies and combinations with his Chidori and mastery of Taijutsu. However, despite his growth, I don't believe he can take Madara on his own. In Shippuden, it took both Naruto and Sasuke to deal with his Limbo clones and catastrophic planetary devastation. Madara could not be defeated. He needed to be sealed, so without Naruto, Madara takes the win. In comparison to Sasuke, Naruto has a bit of a better chance to defeat Madara if this battle goes down when he still has Kurama. This is due to his Baryon mode transformation. In Baryon mode, Naruto's speed, reflexes, and power increased to a point that shocked Isshiki. We could even say that in this form, Naruto surpassed Isshiki. Also, due to the nature of this transformation, any contact with an opponent will drain said opponent's life force, meaning Madara would be in some trouble. Now, in Madara's case, we have to admit he's one of the best strategists out there. He figured out the mechanics of Sasuke's Ameno Tejikara after only seeing it twice. If he figures out what's going on here, this battle will become one of who outlasts who. With Madara's Limbo clones there to stall, while Madara may come close to losing, Kurama will give out first, leaving Naruto to fall. In comparison to Jiraiya-sensei, his clone Koji Kashin has been perfected in any and all areas deemed a weakness. He can use Sage Mode in perfect balance and has the ability to summon toads. Using a kunai, he can summon the true fire of Samadhi, inextinguishable flames that burn so quickly that regenerative abilities fail to keep up with its damage. In the manga, Koji defeated Isshiki's vessel Jigen and held his own against Isshiki. So, he should be able to keep up with Madara, right? Well, yes, but also no. When Kashin fought Jigen, Jigen was at the end of his rope, which was the plan in the first place. End Jigen's life while he's down and force Isshiki's resurrection. However, Koji did not have the power to defeat Isshiki. So, while he may hold his own against Madara, there's only really so much he can do before it's over. Momoshiki Otsutsuki versus Madara Uchiha. I'm gonna come right out and say it. Momoshiki doesn't have a chance, and it's due to Momoshiki's nature. He is lazy. He doesn't train, he doesn't like to put in effort, and his entire moveset is based on absorbing others' attacks and using them against his opponents. This would be something Madara would pick up on instantly and would switch to using Taijutsu only, his Limbo clones, and planetary devastation, which wouldn't be able to be absorbed. Plus, we have to ask, what form of Momoshiki would we see? If this battle takes place before Kinshiki's absorption, the results aren't even a question. After absorption? Yeah, he might get in a couple of good hits, but Ten Tails Madara will overpower the god and be on his way to take down who else may stand in his way. In comparison to Momoshiki, Kinshiki Otsutsuki is a mere stepping stone. The problem here is that, like Momoshiki, he doesn't have a catalog of jutsu to use. Actually, he relies on others' chakra just like Momoshiki, but absorbs it into his halberd to make the weapon even more powerful. Again, this would be something Madara would pick up on and avoid. Now, Kinshiki has one thing in his favor, and that is his exceptional use of taijutsu and surprising speed. He was fast enough and strong enough to go one-on-one with Sasuke. However, that won't be enough. Kinshiki was taken down by Sasuke, Chojuro, and Kurotsuchi. Replace those three with 4 of Madara's Limbo clones, which Kinshiki won't be able to see, and we get the same results. Overall, he was better off waiting to be eaten by Momoshiki. At least there, he'd be helpful. Boro is a bit of a head-scratcher for me because, for one, he is strong. He was able to tank any and all of Team 7's attacks and even carry on fighting after having his core destroyed by Sarada's Chidori. However, that's just the thing. This was against Team 7, and more shows how strong they are than anything. Plus, he was obliterated by Boroshiki, Momoshiki taking over Boruto's body. This should mean Madara wins hands down. However, Boro does have one trick up his sleeve, his Dark Cloud, which is a poison that eats away at his opponent's body and eventually paralyzes them. If Madara comes in contact with it, the tides may shift differently. However, if Madara plays it smart, keeps his distance, and uses Limbo, I don't see Boro coming out of this fight alive. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. Out of anyone on this list, I believe Delta may have the greatest shot at standing up to Madara, and that's because she was able to hold her own one-on-one with Naruto. If we're being honest, she almost defeated Naruto in his 6-path Sage Mode form. Her destructive eye beam was powerful enough to force Naruto to dodge at all costs, which opened him up to more attacks. If she didn't attack Himawari and stayed focused on the task at hand, she may have defeated Lord 7th. However, she's super impatient, which would be her downfall against Madara too. Naruto turned her own chakra absorption against her by forcing her to overload. This would definitely be something Madara would notice too, and out of all the possible ways he could defeat her, turning her against herself is so in Madara's nature. Now the big question of the day, could Madara defeat Isshiki? Here's what we know. Isshiki is a beast who made Naruto and Sasuke look like Genin when he was still using Jigen as a vessel. His Rinnegan abilities, Sakuna Hikona and Daikokuten are god tier. In his resurrected state, while yes, his life force was drained, he still outlasted Baryon mode Naruto. So in the case of fighting Madara, he would definitely hold his own, but I don't believe he would win. Limbo is the perfect counter to Ishiki's use of black rods, and while Ishiki's chakra may be stronger than Madara's, Madara has shown more feats in combat and intelligence. Also, in his current state, Isshiki isn't at 100%, as Jigen's body was never the perfect vessel. At the end of the day, Madara would outlast Ishiki's remaining lifespan and take the win. We have one last question for you. Madara versus Code. We do know Code can use Ishiki's power, however we aren't sure to what extent at the moment. Do you think he'll be able to match up with Madara, or will he end up like the rest of Konoha?